Hello and welcome to Geeks and Degenerates. Today we're talking about the Rise of Skywalker, Star Wars Episode 9, something that many people hate, but ironically John does not. So welcome to the Hot D.
You're like she gonna take your job, homie. That was smooth.
That was pretty good.
That was really good. Like, I didn't hate this as much, even though me and Enzo had talked and debated, and I pretty much yelled at him at the bus stop for liking this movie. I'm like rewatching. I was like, it's not that bad.
Same.
The fact that J.J. Abrams is back at it, yeah, I was like, huh, this thing was worse. But after rewatching, I was like, the action's nice.
I remember you trolled me about it though.
Ah, yeah. No, that's just me bullying you in general.
Fucking.
Like, whatever you like, even though it's good, I will hate it.
But yeah, they're like, look what Jeremy Johns thinks. Like, okay.
I'm not saying it's a perfect movie.
It's not. But yeah. So needless to say, were you guys after The Last Jedi? Were you guys excited, worried about this, indifferent?
Well, I mean, seeing as how I loved The Last Jedi so much, I was really looking forward to like the conclusion, how everything wraps up. And I'm not gonna lie, when the teaser trailer came out and you heard Palpatine's laugh at the end, I got super fucking hype.
Okay. I gotta lie, Remnants of the Clone Wars does tickle my fancy. I'm like, oh, okay. Palpatine's back, why not? That's an interesting plot. Not a fan of how they took it, but okay.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, I don't know, maybe it was just, the magic of editing with the teaser trailer, because at the very end there they show Rey looking over a piece of the destroyed Death Star on one of the moons of Endor, and then you hear Palpatine's laugh at a black screen. And that's the reveal, actually, of the title of the movie. No one knew what the title of the movie was until this teaser trailer. And you see the Rise of Skywalker, and then his laugh. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it.
How about you, Enzo?
I was hoping beyond hope that this was going to be an amazing ending, cause like I was always in a roller coaster state with The Last Jedi. I was like, no, maybe I am just gaslighting myself to thinking it's good, or maybe I'm gaslighting myself to thinking it's awful. And then now I'm just like, it's fine. But without that, when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh cool, Palpatine's back. But why?
Yeah.
And we don't really get a why. We're just like, oh, to fill in.
No, he's just back.
Yeah.
It just seems like he's back.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of stuff in like the actual lore of Star Wars that makes this plausible and believable, but your average like moviegoer isn't exactly in on all of the lore and stuff, like how I am and how I believe you guys are in on it. More than the average person. So just your average casual viewer that likes Star Wars going to see this movie, those are where all the hate reviews came from.
No, I see it. I see that.
Yeah, and like I don't know if the Globe is a local telephone company here, but they did interviews after the Rise of Skywalker, and I don't know if they're ever going to post it or they have posted. But I did an interview where I'm just phantom menacing myself, like, what do you think of the movie? I thought it was great. I like the lightsaber sight. Bye. And the guy was like, okay.
It was like, I have 3 more questions, but okay. I do remember one of my friends who had like an interview with another. I think it was Smart this time, but they were like doing a commercial for like, hey, what did you think of the Rise of Skywalker? And he completely shat on it. He never released it.
Well, that's Smart, because Smart is like, well, this guy is going to destroy our friendship with Disney, and Globe's like, well, this guy's an idiot. We can't release the clips. But yeah.
No, this guy just left.
But yeah, that's neither here or there, but like getting into it, you see the opening title and it says The Dead Speak. You're like, oh shit, everything is true. Palpatine's back. Whoop-de-doo. Uh, and then it opens with Kylo Ren and Mustafar, and you're like, nice to see that this whole planet healed itself after years of volcanic eruptions. Makes sense.
And thus back into war, and then actually I really like this scene.
Yeah.
You just see Kylo Ren just cutting down fools. I was like, I like seeing this. I just like seeing a Jedi in the fog of war, just killing whoever he sees. I'm like, a lightsaber wielder Jedi, just mowing down helpless dudes like Ahsoka did in Mando season 2. That shit's sick.
Yeah, Kylo is not a Jedi, man.
I know.
And just in case I didn't say this in like the other 2 videos for anybody watching, because I know this is a really big misconception. Kylo Ren was never a Sith either.
He was just a Knight of Ren.
Yeah. But he finds a device that leads him to Exegol, which is the secret Sith planet where the Emperor has been hiding this entire time. We're like, convenience.
Has Exegol been like a thing in like the books and comics? Because I swear to God, all the people who knew the lore, like deeply knew the lore, was just like, what the fuck? There's a whole Sith planet.
I'm pretty sure Exegol was an invention for this movie.
Yeah, we're sure it angered the majority of the diehard fans. Some of the diehard fans, though.
But in the lore that has come out since the Rise of Skywalker, there has been talk of Exegol, like in the Darth Vader comics, for example.
Yeah, so it's a new factor in when it comes to. Well, I mean, it has to be there for a while, since it is like a Sith-heavy planet.
Right. Now, for example, and by the way, for those listening, spoilers for the Darth Vader comics. If you are interested in those or reading those, you might not want to listen for a little bit. When Obi-Wan Kenobi tells Darth Vader that if you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you can possibly imagine, he doesn't believe him. He thinks it's another Jedi trick, right? To just try to confuse him or throw him off, whatever. So he doesn't believe him. It's not until between episodes 5 and 6 in the Darth Vader comics that Palpatine, that he actually realizes that Obi-Wan was right, because Palpatine tells Vader on Exegol the truth of what Obi-Wan meant by that, and that he's become a force ghost to help Luke on his journey.
Yeah.
And then again we get the biggest why, which is my favorite part of the movie, which is Ian McDiarmid back as Emperor Palpatine. You're like, I haven't seen you since 2005 and it feels like you never left, unless you've been watching Rebels, and then he makes a brief cameo there.
If you watch Clone Wars, he's kind of there, but he's just not voicing the guy.
Yeah, it's Tim Curry, and I forgot the first actor. But yeah.
Wait, for who?
Palpatine in the Clone Wars. It was, I forgot the first actor. But
Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Yo, what? That was Tim Curry?
Yeah.
No, eventually it became Tim Curry because the first actor died, and like one Sidious battles Savage and Maul. That's already Tim Curry.
Holy shit! I didn't know he. Oh my god!
Yeah. You gotta rewatch the Clone Wars. I gotta rewatch the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Such a good film.
Yeah, I mean, I paid attention, to like the more important names, like Ashley Eckstein and the like, but not Palpatine's voice actor.
Yeah, I just found out like 2 years ago when Enzo told me about it. I was like, really? That Tim Curry?
Yeah.
Okay. The fuck?
Yeah. But going back to Ian McDiarmid, he says the line that he says in Revenge of the Sith, the dark side of the Force is the pathway to many abilities some consider unnatural. And you see his form like, right, he was vaporized.
Yeah.
He's like,
I do love it that like Kylo just walks into this like Jedi. I keep saying that. Sith ancient temple that floats off the ground.
Yeah.
And it's very much just like face to face with this Darth Lord that we all were intimidated by.
Yeah.
And of course, he makes him an offer. It's like, what do you want? Oh, sorry. Like, what can you give me? He goes, everything. I was like,
Yeah.
I feel like Kylo should have learned by this point, right? Like he knows you're bullshit.
Yeah.
Because last time somebody said that to me, I cut him in half.
Yeah. But Palpatine's like, well, I have been every voice inside your head, and you see the switch between Snoke and Vader. Like, that's pretty sick. And he gives him the final order. But if you want this, you give me the scavenger, which is Rey. And then you cut to Finn and Poe and BB and a bunch of other aliens trying to get
something from VeggieTales. It's just a weird slug thing.
Yeah, they get information from this alien, also voiced by Mark Hamill, and he's like, "What do you want us to do? Win the war?" And then they escape, and Poe light speed skips, and you're like, "That's a new ability." Too bad this is only in one movie, because I didn't get to see this in Solo. So I guess this is something they could also do.
I mean, that's like super speed. You see it in the beginning of episode 1, and you never see it again.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, at least in the prequels, because Luke kind of does that when he jumps out of the cryogenic chamber in episode 5. Kind of.
Why does he do it repeatedly?
No, it's just that once that Luke does it.
Alright.
Okay.
Because it was just odd that, like, every time he goes into hyperspace, he's in another planet or another section of a planet. And I'm like, could they have done that before? Or would that break the laws of physics? Or does the laws of physics ever matter?
Again.
It seems like to me what lightspeed jumping is basically like just going into hyperspeed, right, or hyperspace, just to like the next closest like thing, right? So he's just doing it very quickly and then coming out to the next thing to try to lose, the tail that he has.
Yeah, and for some reason the TIE fighters can do it. I don't know.
Everybody can do it.
Anybody can do it? Okay.
And that's what the movie presents. I'm like, I guess so.
I guess everybody can do it.
And then you go to the planet where Rey is training, and she's being trained by Princess Leia.
Okay, I gotta say now I get it. Like, as we see Rey go through this movie and being able to, like, go toe-to-toe with Kylo Ren, now I get it. Because for sure there was a bit of a time skip since the last movie. Like, you see Poe and Finn just doing their own thing while Rey stays in... Where is that place?
I don't know.
Kashyyyk? I don't know.
No, I know it. I can't remember the damn name of the planet because it didn't seem important enough to me to remember.
Yeah, well, doesn't matter. Yeah, it's just jungle planet that every rebel stays in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and her training and her going through the ropes, I was like, you know what? I think now she's capable. Like, at this point, sure, if it's just been a month, I'm like, it's a month of training. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
Well, she gets distracted and she cuts down the 3 on poor BB, and BB's like, why? Thought you liked me.
Man, I mean, like, BB's case isn't as bad as C-3PO.
That's true.
Like, this man got shit talked the entire movie, even though he made, like, a really big sacrifice. Man was still shit talked to oblivion. I'm like, why don't you give him a break? God.
But yeah, Rey keeps seeing these visions of her past, and you're like, I really hope this is the movie finally where they explain shit, because I'm tired of this mystery.
Yep.
And then you get a bit of the banter between Poe, Rey, and Finn, and you're like, I kind of wish they had this since the beginning, but sure. Or we got to see this dynamic since the beginning where Rey's like, why is the Falcon on fire? Why did you drop a 3 on BB? Why is the ship on fire? Like, why are you being so difficult? No, you're being difficult. And Finn's just like, stop, please. Information.
Well,
yeah, I love that little back and forth with Rey and Poe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for some reason, like, Poe's just pissed off this moment, just like, grr. And I'm like, why? You guys made it. You guys got the information that there is a spy in the First Order.
Yeah.
Well, why are you so pissed off? Well, I guess they're losing.
Yeah, they're losing, and their best fighter is just training endlessly. In his mind, it's like, can't you just join us for once in a bit? But what is that important information from the spy is that somehow Palpatine returned. You're like, wow, what lovely exposition. That's what we get.
Right? He was like, Palpatine's back. Take care of it.
Yeah,
Like that was it. I was like, okay.
Well, I mean, wasn't it in Rebels, I believe, where we saw like Dr. Aphra and Vader on like that one planet that we got at the end of Bad Batch season 1, where the cloning facility is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you see, that's, like I said, part of the lore that can make this plausible, because even way back then, you know, we still got like an insight into, oh, these motherfuckers have their own cloning capabilities, like the Kaminoans. Kaminoans? Is that it?
Yeah.
Kaminoans? I don't know.
Kaminoans.
But like to like
Kaminoans?
to like the average person, and even like someone who watches Star Wars like me, I'm like, I didn't know this was part of the test. Jesus Christ, I didn't know I had to fill in the blanks myself. Okay, sure, I'll do it. And then you look to the side, you're like, that's fucking Mary from Lord of the Rings. Wonder what his role is. Oh, non-substantial. Okay, I guess not.
Right. Oh my god, I forgot he was here.
Yeah, I thought it was cool that he was in this movie, and also I forget the guy's name, and it's crazy because I just looked him up the other day. But the one guy, he's like a heavier set dude, and he has a mustache.
Yeah.
I've seen him.
The chunky pilot guy.
Yeah. I've seen him in plenty of other stuff, and I like him. I can't remember his name, but I liked that he was in this movie when I saw him.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, it's also when I saw Carrie Fisher, I'm like, so like, how are they going to do this? Because there's some scenes.
Was she still alive?
No, they use unused footage of her, and then some CGI magic. Even that, it's like, yeah, I can tell how limited they are.
Okay, question. I just saw it in the background. Like, was that Carrie Fisher's daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, she looks very familiar.
Yeah,
Like
she was even in episode 8. She's the lieutenant that helps cover up their the Canto Bite adventure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we all loved cover up that Canto Bite.
Yeah, Billy Lord always pops up in the sequels, and I like the fact that she does. With Jimmy Smith, and like towards the end of the movie, you see like a certain look like that is straight up homage to her mom. But yeah,
I know this is for another video, so I'll keep it very short. But we got a Canto Bite name drop.
Cool. Anyway.
God damn. Let's go.
But how do you stop the Emperor? Well, you have to find a Wayfinder to go to Exegol. How do you get a Wayfinder? That's how it's a Sith relic, and you don't know where you find it. But there's a desert planet where Luke was chasing some guy, and
okay. Question: this Sith relic, how old is it?
I don't fucking know.
Right? They say relic as if it's like really old.
Yeah, it goes back at least to the Old Republic, to the Sith Empire.
So Old Republic. Like
right.
Before Death Star fall or after Death Star fall?
Old Republic is way before.
Oh my fucking god. 200 to 300 years prior from Episode 1.
Yes.
You ask a question and then just keep going. Don't wait for the answer.
My bad.
So how? You know what? We'll get there when we get there.
Just go with it. Just go with it. And then Rey, Poe, and Finn, and BB, and C-3PO, and Chewie all go to find this relic. And even R2's like, shouldn't I come since I'm the more capable droid? No, okay. Finn goes to Rose, and he's like, you want to come? She's like, no, I have to stay. Like
Nah,
that's
you saw how they treated me last movie. I ain't going with you.
like I guess JJ wasn't a fan of the character either. Okay.
Nah, probably just people are assholes and they don't want to do that to. What was her name? Something Michelle
Kel-
Tran.
Kelly Marie Tran.
Kelly Marie Tran.
Kelly Marie Tran.
It was the same with Jar Jar in the prequels. After the first one, that's how come he barely speaks in the second one, and I don't think he has a single line in the third one.
No.
Yes.
And then we cut to Kylo, and he has a kind of a brand new design to his helmet, and
Maybe he's got like red streaks around it.
yeah, and he's accompanied by the Knights of Ren, and then the Carl Urban troopers like Knights of Ren. Like, oh shit, that's Butcher.
Was that Carl Urban?
Yeah,
Why?
Who was Carl Urban?
he's a stormtrooper that goes Knights of Ren.
Like he's a guy. Like as they're walking through the
Yeah.
hallways, he's that stormtrooper who goes, "Oh, what?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that."
yeah. But yeah, you also get introduced to General Pride, who again I'm like I kind of wish you were here since the beginning, but what can you do?
I feel like you would have been a better
Stand-in for
like,
Hux.
Hux, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, we don't get Admiral Piet until episode 5, so they don't have to be, in all the movies.
Good point. But this guy's so good at being like
like
an imperial bastard, you know.
I buy you as an embittered veteran,
Yeah.
who's a fanatic too, rather than Hux kind of, because Hux seems a bit too young to be of that stature. But
I feel like they also wasted Hux. I liked Hux a little bit.
yeah, I like them too, but yeah, I'm just glad the actor.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him enough that when I was gonna get a service dog, I was gonna name him Hux.
But
Yeah.
we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, the actor for General Pride also was in Loki as classic Loki. So if you look, that's why.
Yeah,
and
him and other stuff though. He's a good actor. He's a classic actor.
yeah,
He's a
Kylo
good bad guy.
Kylo tells this man that they're looking for the scavenger and they have to work tenfold because she's really important to the Emperor. And you find out the reason why, and we'll get to that mini rant of mine when we get to that. But yeah, they go to Rey, Poe, and the rest of the gang go to Desert Planet number 3 to this festival, and there's these happy people who just
I know, it was pretty hype there. It was pretty hype.
Yeah,
I was
happy.
like, yeah.
Listen, Enzo, it's okay. You can call it Tatooine 3.
Had to.
Yeah, Tatooine 3. And they're like, one alien was like, "What's your name, Ray? What's your last name?" "I don't have one." "Oh, well, you're weird, but I'm happy you're here anyway."
Yeah, and then Kylo and her have this Skype call where Kylo's like, "I'm gonna take that."
Yeah,
Just takes her necklace that the little thing gave her,
yeah,
and they were able to scan it. I was like, damn, that would be so useful all the time, just like get a piece of object across the universe and just be like, scan this, see where it's from. I was like,
yeah.
they gotta use that.
He Skype calls her in the room where he keeps his Vader helmet in mint condition. We're like, what a true symbol.
Mint condition? That thing's busted. What the fuck are you talking
Don't tell him
about?
that. Don't tell him that. She takes pride in it.
The resale value is gone.
Well, not really.
I mean,
If
It is.
anything, I think it would sell for more the way
Yeah.
it is.
Okay, true. Since it is the only copy,
yeah,
you probably have a point.
like a third of version of Action Comics 1 is still valuable enough if it's the only copy.
Okay. Like if it's the only one.
Yeah.
And then now it's somewhere in, what was it called again? Like, what was the name of that planet that got blown up?
I don't know.
Oh, where we meet Poe, Carrie Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Poe's like fling back in the day.
Yeah. Oh shit. This one I I actually hate that I can't remember because I like that planet. But
Very
yeah, I know what
cyberpunk.
you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before that, we are introduced, or we reintroduced to Billy D. Williams as Lander. We're like, hey, please don't die. I don't want this alumni to die.
Chewie can't take it. If you go, Chewie might not be able to
Stand
take
out
it.
in a crowd.
Like, please, I really like Billy D. Williams. Please don't kill him off. But he tells them that he was helping Luke find the Sith relic, and he points them to the right direction, which is a ship. And then they're chased by the First Order, where we get the meme of, they fly now? They fly now. They fly now.
I know.
I loved that though. I laughed so hard at that.
Yeah.
But I was like, I mean, if you played Battlefront, they've always been able to fly.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, so I'm like-
what one is this news to you?
Or maybe in like that Stormtrooper era, or like that old Republic, like they didn't really have the budget
Yeah,
for
but-
it.
They haven't, at least in the current times that the sequels are taking place in, they haven't experienced the stormtroopers flying.
Yeah, okay, because they were building a bomb moon thing that blows up planets, so I guess they didn't have the budget for jetpacks.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, didn't Cal Kestis fight jetpack flying people too? Or am I confusing that for The Force Awakens? Sorry, The Force Unleashed.
Okay, it's a big universe. You could miss it. Some are there, some are here. But all I gotta say is that those jetpack troopers are really cool looking. I
Yeah.
love that design.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get eaten by quicksand, but like Poe's like, hooray, Poe, are you guys alright? And C-3PO's like, you didn't ask me, but I'm alright. You're like, oh.
Yeah, I get it. Why? Like, C-3PO's kinda annoying. I was like, you don't need to do him dirty like that.
They find a dagger, and it's a relic, Sith relic, and Rey's like, a lot of pain has. This thing has caused a lot of pain. C-3PO was like, I can read it, but I can't because my programming forbids me to read ancient Sith, which I can do. You're like, since when can you read ancient Sith?
Right? And he got a lot of post reactions like, the time when we want you to talk, you can't. And I'm like, again, I was like, calm down.
And C-3PO being C-3PO, he's just like, irony, sir.
Which is like C-3PO being like, fuck you.
And again, since they're in the desert, I keep looking at Poe. I'm like, yeah, wow, JJ really likes Uncharted, does he?
Oh yeah, he really likes
Nathan
fucking
Drake.
Nathan Poe.
Yeah.
I also really like I laughed hard at this one too. Call me simple, whatever. When Rey lights her lightsaber and Poe comes up next to her and turns the flashlight on.
And you just hear clunk.
It's like those douchebag guys. Like Poe's not a douchebag, but it's like those douchebag guys that buy super big trucks to compensate for the size of their dick.
Yes, it is exactly.
And then they go to the Wayfinder, and Rey senses Kylo, so she goes ahead to confront him. And Chewie tries to follow her, but he's captured by the Knights of Ren.
Okay, sorry to throw us off. I just want to point this out. Throughout the entire movie, I love how you see Poe is the only one doing the whole tactical way of holding a gun and clearing corners, while the rest are like Han Soloing it, like one arm like this, go through a corner, you know, just like superheroing it, putting their gun at their waist. I was like, I kind of like that. What was the name of that movie that Poe, like Final Frontier or something like that, or Triple Frontier?
Poe, Final Frontier?
No. Oscar Isaac was in that movie with Ben Affleck.
Ah, yeah, Triple Frontier. Yeah.
Triple Frontier. I love how he puts that into Star Wars, where this is the only guy who's actually doing the whole John Wick style clear corner kind of, you know.
You could argue that he does that in Moon Knight too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. As a what was the name of the assassin persona of his.
Mercenary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then before we get to the Rey versus TIE Fighter, like before they're eaten by the quicksand, Vince like, Ray, I have to tell you something. I'm like, you're setting up more stuff when we're at the last movie. What are you doing?
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, what do you gotta tell? And then he doesn't tell
never
Poe.
find out.
I mean, we kind of get hints, and we're like, okay, we get it. But I love how they kind of just snub Poe. Like, when they're held at gunpoint and they're about to get executed, what was the thing you were gonna tell Ray, by the way? You think there's no
None,
appropriate
yeah.
time? Well, this is the only time we got!
Yeah, Ray fights Kylo in a TIE fighter, and like, this is the second guy I've seen survive a TIE fighter crashing in 2019 besides Moff Gideon. I'm like, I guess you can survive that, sure.
That shit's badass, though.
Yeah.
Like, him coming out of
I
the
mean,
flames. Just like,
as long as it doesn't blow up, because whatever the alien scumbag dude name is in episode 1, when his pod crashes, he lives, but that's because it doesn't blow up.
Yeah.
Sebulba.
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Though I would argue Moff Gideon kind of had a bigger impact, because you're like, that's the Darksaber. What the fuck?
I agree. When Moff Gideon came out of the TIE fighter and then lit the Darksaber,
Yeah.
that hit more than Kylo coming out of his just regular. I'm like, we know you're a Force user.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah,
free.
he used the Darksaber to cut his way out of the TIE fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like, that's just badass.
And like,
Anyway, we're not talking
Yeah.
about Mandalorian.
yeah, that's for another time. But yeah, Ray and Kylo have a contest to who has the better force power, because Chewie's on this transport being escorted by the Knights of Ren, or we think he is. And Ray and Kylo have a tug of war, and then Ray shoots lightning, and they're like, I didn't know lightning could blow stuff up, in Star Wars at least. But sure. Which doesn't make sense later on, but we'll get there when we get there.
That's always the thing now. Like, we'll get there when we get there, because all of our complaints are at the end of the fucking movie.
And then Ray's guilt-ridden because you're like, they just dead-ass murdered Chewie. What the fuck?
Sorry, I kind of laughed at that. And you see Finn at the back, is like, no!
He went from Ray to, oh my god.
I found that scene kind of funny because I knew they weren't gonna do that to Chewie.
But yeah, Kylo gets the dagger, and then they're like, what do we do now? Well, we have C-3PO, and he has the ability to read Sith language, and it's stored in his memory, so we'll go to the snowy planet to meet with Kerry Russell.
Harry Russell.
I always get confused between Pirates of the
Keira
Caribbean.
Knightley was here before.
Yeah.
Just not in this time.
Like, they just look so the same. If you notice, the bar Zori takes Ray and the rest of the gang to, the bartender is John Williams. I'm like, oh fucking hell, that's the composer of this entire movie.
Matt just goes. Actually, again, I would love it if Star Wars would just give me a scene where I'm just like, that's it. And then they cut away back to the, like, yeah, he was like, hey, it's John in the Star Wars movie. I'll be happy with that.
Underneath, they meet Babu Freak, who is like second favorite character in this movie.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Really glad you fucking said that.
Yes.
Hey!
This thing going, yeah.
I'm so glad he's in Mando season 3 as well, Rick. Yay! More Babu Freak. Yes!
Oh my god.
Listen, we got like 2 months until Mando season 3. Hype.
Yeah.
Nah, it ain't Grogu.
It's Babu Freak.
It's Baba Freak. Who I'm waiting for.
And Babu Frick is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
And then, like, the only way to get C-3PO to do the translation is to completely mind wipe, and there's a scene where it's supposed to be, depending who you are, supposed to be touching when they're like, what are you looking at, 3PO? He's like, I'm looking at my friends. Honestly, I'm just like, oh well.
Okay, that line was delivered very well in the trailer.
Yeah.
But once they put it in the movie, I was like, because like the next scene is them going, wait, I found another way. What?
Yeah, you're like, well, that was stupid. So this whole entire plot is stupid then.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, So you didn't need to do that if he found another way, or unless it's just his human side of like being. Wait, I don't wanna forget y'all.
Then they find where the other Wayfinder is, which is in the Death Star, in the moon near Endor. I'm like, oh cool, we're gonna see Ewoks again, but like that's not the case because it's just a moon in Endor, near Endor. Yeah, they also find out that Chewbacca is still alive, and we can't leave him alone. We can't leave him to be tortured by his dad's son, because he might still have extreme anger management issues. So we're gonna save this big walking dog.
But you do get the information. Like I forgot which scene it came from, but remember that character that Mark Hamill voices? Like they bring his head, and they're like, "Oh, we know where they are."
Yeah.
And that there's a spy amongst us, and then everybody's having shifty eyes, just like, who the fuck is it? And of course, it's obviously Hux.
Yeah. But like when they land in the Imperial Star Destroyer, as Kylo's going down to find the gang, like you find out that Poe and Finn have no concept of stealth. Neither does Rey, because they come up just blasting, and no one's like, "The fuck? Who shot our troopers?"
Love how that guy was like, "License and registration, click."
And then Rey has to go because her senses tell her that something else is the matter, because that's where the dagger is. And Poe and Finn rescue Chewie. These names sometimes I get confused. I'm sorry. Rescue Chewie, and there's this cool scene where they're shooting all the troopers in almost a one take scene. You're like, oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, choreography got way better compared to the last one.
And then Rey finds the dagger, and she has a Skype call with Kylo Ren, and he talks about his parents. Where again, I wish the movie makers had a plan, because it's like, oh, your parents were nothing, but your grandfather was. Like, shut the fuck up.
No, like, your parents were nothing because they chose to be nothing. And I was like,
shut the fuck up.
I was like, no, it doesn't work that way, but okay.
And then you see Rey's mom, you're like, that's fucking Jodie Comer.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Just for a brief second.
You're like, I kind of wish you were here longer. Okay.
And I had a different accent, because she's the queen of accents.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then Rey and Kylo have a fight, and they knock the mint collection, I don't know what do you call it, cabinet. And Kylo's like, oh shit, you're in the ship. I guess we're
I would
going
say
back.
antique instead of mint.
Sure. Yeah, makes more sense. But he sees the helmet, he's like, oh. Kylo flies back to the ship. Poe, Finn, and Chewie are caught by General Hux, but he does the thing where you've seen in all movies where they're about to be executed, but no, I save you last minute. And Hux is a spy, and then before that we get the combo of like, what were you gonna tell Rey? None, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, why is everybody not telling Poe anything?
Right.
Ever since the second movie, they were like, you know what? We don't like telling you shit, Poe.
And they're like, why are you doing this? She's like, I don't want you to win, I just want Kylo to lose. You're like, so it's just pettiness, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, so it's just a plot point. There's no depth to his character now, in my opinion. So, like, well, once he got them to escape and they're like, shoot me in the arm, and Finn just shoots him in the leg, I was like, I don't know if that was petty.
It was, but like, Finn's kind of more justified than Hux's stupid plan. Like, why are you okay.
No, I feel like it was very justified. You saw him getting tossed around.
Yeah. And then Kylo reveals to Rey that the reason why the Emperor wants you so badly is because you are his granddaughter. You're like, huh?
Yeah. That is the plot now. Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter.
What?
Don't know when or what Palpatine was doing on his like downtime. But
Huh? Like,
when?
even when Kylo's explaining, like, oh, we had a diet in the Force because my mom
Okay.
is Vader's
No.
daughter.
No. Okay. You know what? it might make sense. Because this is how Annie was born. Think about it.
Rey had two parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. But I mean, like, he impregnated a woman by using the Force, then gave them the son, who was kind of weak shit, and then he had to go with another woman, and then he was like, oh, the daughter that you produced is actually strong with the Force. Maybe that's how it went. Why am I justifying this movie? I hate this movie.
Like, I prefer the theory that she's Obi-Wan's daughter. This is just
I was also thinking the same thing. I was like, I swear to God, if this was like Obi-Wan
Well, like-
and
Oh, Satine?
yeah, I was like, that would have made me cry.
yeah. But
She's
just
like half Mandalorian.
She's too young for that.
Yeah.
yeah. But like the fact that she's Palpatine's daughter, I just like this seems like the easiest way to do this reveal. Like this is the most common denominator. Like yeah, I guess he was related to the dark side user because throughout this entire time she's going away from the light and moving towards the dark. So yeah. It's either that or some bullshit answer to Anakin had a third child. Sure.
Okay, my head's hurting already.
I mean, honestly, like you can hate me for the simplicity of this, but honestly, I wanted her to be Luke's daughter.
Yeah, I would have bought that too. Like that makes sense.
Yeah. No, for me, I'm like,
Also, it also would have been a great opportunity for them to fucking like at least name drop Mara Jade.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would have been really weird, like Sweet Home Alabama weird.
Why? What do you mean, Mara
Kylo.
Jade's not? Oh.
No, Kylo and
Ah.
Rey kiss at the end, so I'm like, oh, they're cousins.
That's been going back to Mara Jade. You could have made Jodie Comer Mara Jade. So we were like, holy shit, the actress we really like is a Legends character now. But yeah.
Yeah.
They go to the moon and that's with a big reveal and we're like, oh shit, she's a Palpatine. They're gonna die in the Force. Awesome, possum. And then they go to the moon and they land, well they crash land and they meet, fuck, what's her name?
Stormtrooper defect number
Wait,
2.
what?
What's the girl's name? They meet in Endor?
Oh, Lando Calrissian's daughter? I mean, this chick we don't know anything about. I forget her name.
What?
Huh?
Is she?
There's the information to me.
You see me?
Yeah. But yeah, they meet Naomi Aki. She's also turns out to be a stormtrooper. And you get the sense that Finn inspired them. We're like, that's cool. But Rey is impatient to get this over with. And she goes ahead to the Death Star. She finds the what do you call it? The Wayfinder or whatever. But in that, she finds the dark side version of herself, who has the stupidest lightsaber I've ever seen. It doesn't make sense.
Really? Have you
I kind of like it.
have
I
you
don't-
watched Rebels? Have you seen Kenobi? It's the stupidest lightsaber you've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I
really?
can't find my tool. I don't-
Really? The lightsaber
How is this
with the
practical?
circle thing?
How is this practical?
Look, you could have one side and then decapitate with the other. It's more practical than spinning helicopter bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, you could really catch somebody off guard with that kind of
Yeah,
lightsaber.
'cause now it's a
Kind that,
staff.
Old.
Yeah, and then you comes into a sword, and as you saw, she traps Rey's blue lightsaber with Rey's red lightsaber, like doing a scissor thing.
It just
It's-
seems so complicated to handle like that's
Dude,
practical.
it just folds.
But it's so dangerous.
Yeah. Think of Darth Maul's lightsaber, but it folds.
Yeah, like
Or even like Bastila Shan.
Fine.
Yeah.
Sure.
like it's a whole staff. It's probably one of the most practical lightsabers out there. You don't even get to hurt your hand because the staff's so long.
Sure. But
And
yeah.
then it gets cut in half, and now you got 2 lightsabers. Man, the possibilities
Lightsaber
of a
side.
good lightsaber design
Lightsaber
was there, and
I-
they didn't use it.
I do like this movie, but I think it would have been much better if Rey did turn to the dark side.
Yeah, I was about
I
to say
agree.
this is the
I
most.
agree. I agree.
Yeah, I was about to say this is the most useless scene because you're like, this leads nowhere, essentially. Other than that,
Yeah.
oh, it's a dark mirror of myself. Okay.
Yeah, and how sick it would have been that the scene later is that Kylo and her are fighting. She hurts Kylo and heals him, but he starts to like Kylo Ren dies, and Ben Kenobi comes back, but she's conflicted.
Ben Kenobi?
And sorry,
Solo.
sorry, Han Solo comes back.
What kind of M. Night Shyamalan twist are you planning of?
Sorry, man. I like other characters more than others. Like, and then Rey becomes bad, and then that's the whole twist. See how great this movie would have been if they just committed to the Darth Vision or like the Force visions.
Yeah. Like I don't get the scene. Like every time when I rewatched this movie for that scene, I saw that scene. I'm like, what's the point of this?
When you saw it in the trailer, I was like, oh
Yeah, like I thought that's how the movie was going to end. Like, oh shit, Risk. I like Risk.
That's what made me like. I'll watch the movie now because our main character, our hero, is the bad guy. And I'm like, shit, that's cool. Yeah.
Kylo catches up to Rey and he breaks the Wayfinder's like the only way to actually go is through me or with me. Like, this is the weirdest way to flirt, Kylo. You have some weird flirting lines. Like, oh, you're nothing. You're useless. Like, wow, what smooth words to get someone's attention.
He's a lady killer.
Sure. But anyway,
He writes plays and lives in LA.
Sure. But yeah, it is a sweet duel. Like I really like this duel when they're balancing in one of the beams of Death Star and the waves are coming in. We're like, this is pretty sick. Even in the trailer, I'm like, I feel like this will be a pretty good duel. I kind of prefer this one over, for obvious reasons, this one over the Force Awakens one, where like Rey's an amateur who needs to be guided by the Force, but now, even though Rey's trying her best, she keeps being deflected or parried by Kylo. Like, yeah, that makes sense.
But the Leia's death kind of distracts Kylo for a split second, and Rey takes that opportunity.
Yeah. And then he gets stabbed, but she heals him. She's like, I want to take your hand. Ben San. You're like, And at this point in the movie, the first time, I'm like, I'm really getting tired of this ship. Please stop.
I think there was like this is the only time when I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe like the whole time in the second movie where the whole sexual tension was coming from, I was like, no. And then once we got here where she goes, I would have taken your hand, Ben's hand. I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, okay, I kind of get it.
Yeah, I get what you mean. But yeah, Rey flies off. Finn, Poe, and Naomi Aki go back to the planet where Leia's at, and then Kylo has a reflection but going back to Poe and the gang, they find out that Leia is dead, and Chewie has a breakdown like, oh my god, everyone I know has died. I'm sorry.
And then and then you see like Rey, she runs away, she goes back to the island where she found Luke and she was ready to toss the lightsaber into the burning TIE fighter.
Yeah.
And then Luke catches it and was like, a Jedi's weapon should be treated with respect.
You're one to talk.
Exactly. You're the one who tossed that thing.
And she's like, you know what? Leia saw who you were and she trained you anyway. And who you are doesn't mean it's the end of it. Like, just because you're Palpatine doesn't mean you cannot be a Force for good. You can be better than that. Gives her a pep talk, and he does the Yoda scene where he lifts the X-Wing. And you're like, oh, that's pretty sick. The scene is sick. Like, yeah. It comes full cycle where Luke is now carrying the X-Wing. Like, I like this. And then we cut to Ben, and you hear, hey kid. You're like, no fucking way. And he turns around, and it's Harrison Ford back again as Han Solo. And this scene is touching because Kylo says the lines he said to him in The Force Awakens, which is, I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. And then in different contexts, Han Solo says, "Yes, you do," and he tosses the lightsaber away. Like, oh, that's pretty sweet.
And I feel like Han Solo knew this was Harrison Ford knew that it was his last time. So this man did not phone it in. Like it looks like he was like really into it too. I was like, I guess this is his last hurrah to the Han Solo character.
Yeah. Oh, also, Luke gives Rey the Leia's lightsaber, and you see a good flashback scene of like, wow, the aging really has evolved throughout the years. Where you see a young Mark Hamill and a young Carrie Fisher, like, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean they filmed it like in the dark.
Yeah.
With, like a storm happening, so it helped.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was also it was digitally recreated, Carrie Fisher's younger face, but that was actually her daughter.
Yeah. It's kind of like what they did with I was gonna say Paul Newman. He's an actual race car driver. Paul Walker. Sorry.
Yeah, no, when with the Han Solo scene, I'm like, damn it.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean?
When
with
Paul Walker, they used his brother, who kind of looked like him.
To be the body.
Yeah, and
the final scene with Vin Diesel when they drove off. Yeah.
Yeah. I know with the Han Solo scene, I was like, damn it, Disney. Even your mediocre movies make me feel stuff.
I kind of like this one.
Yeah. But yeah, going ahead, they all Poe doesn't know what to do because when Leia died, they said you're not acting general, and he's like, I don't know how to do this. The Emperor's back, and he has a fleet of planet-killing weapons, and I legit don't know what to do. And he has a pep talk from Lando. He's like, well, we had each other, and that's all we needed to fight the massive empire. All right. And gives him enough courage, and at the same time, Finn gets information from Dio. He's like, oh,
Dio.
By the way, he knows how to find Exegol. Funny enough.
Mm-hmm.
And since Rey is leading the way, they follow Rey, and then they discover that you have to destroy the antenna on the ground or in the ship to disable the shields because the ships can't go high enough to activate the shields.
This part was so confusing. I was like, why couldn't they just shoot him?
I really liked Dio.
He was cute.
Yeah, I mean, you could actually understand this thing. Yeah.
No, thank you. We're like, oh no, an abused
I was like,
droid.
okay. Oh, that's trauma.
Like,
I was
oh
like,
no.
the thing was like a puppy, yeah.
Yeah. And then Rey goes to confront the Emperor while the rest of the fleet go, and they're like, alright, Lando, it's up to you to call backup. Please don't leave us hanging because we really need it.
Mm-hmm.
All the while, like early on, you see how powerful the ships are because they can destroy a planet. We're like, oh no, another planet-destroying thing. Where have I seen that before?
Mm-hmm. Multiple times. And now they made the gun smaller.
Recycling. Sometimes,
yeah.
A lot of times, it's very good for the environment, not good for movies.
Nada.
Yeah. But yeah, I also get the cool some more general prize like, as I served you in the old wars, I will serve you again. You're like, oh shit, I really wish we had more time with this guy. But yeah, Rey confronts the Emperor and he talks about the ceremony with a bunch of ghosts, like, oh, you will strike me down and you will take my place as the ruler of the galaxy. You're like, I've heard this bullshit before, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kylo comes in with his good boy genes, and he's now the best boy, and does the best boy jump to the chain. You're like, what a good boy.
That man just wasting guards left and right. I was like,
shooting like he's Han Solo.
Yeah.
And it's a cool scene where Rey teleports the lightsaber to him, and he takes out the Knights of Ren. Even though I wish they were a lot more formidable.
Yeah.
Listen. I got something that I love about this scene, okay?
Okay.
When Ben grabs the lightsaber, right? And then he does like that little shrug.
Yeah, he's like
before they start fighting.
Yeah.
That was not scripted. Adam Driver did that on the fly as a tribute to Han Solo because that's his kid. So like father, like son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, gonna do this, and then I can't shit on this fight because the choreography is actually really good. Except for that one part where he blocks from behind, and then it took forever for the object to hit whatever he was trying to block.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah,
But
boring.
the rest of it was actually great. Like him pretty much turning one of the Knights of Ren around and then igniting the lightsaber right behind him. I was like, that's cool. I just wish the Knights of Ren did more throughout this trilogy. Here is not a bad fight. This is like, yes, he is the best of all of the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
But I wish we saw how formidable the Knights of Ren were throughout the entire trilogy.
They even get two good
Yeah.
hits on him. We're like, oh fuck, all right.
Because the block behind the back with the lightsaber, that's showing his Skywalker blood, because that's how Anakin used to fight, and also how Luke fought.
Yeah.
Uh,
So it's a good call, man.
yeah, and then Rey takes out the Praetorian guards with guns. You're like, oh, I see you're just as useless without the spears, but cool.
She does use a while ago. We kind of see that Luke gives Leia's lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the lightsaber, Leia's lightsaber isn't red. Hashtag not my Leia.
But yeah, up above.
Was it canon? Okay.
Up above to destroy the main antenna, like Finn thinks of an idea, like, oh, let's use horses on a star destroyer to destroy the antenna.
Yeah. So like they put bombs in it, and then like did it work?
I just find the horses strange. Like, why can't you?
No,
just...
because they said like, oh, he jammed their speeders, and they're like, but they're not using speeders. They're like, what? And then,
Wouldn't it be easier to kill horses than spears, though?
I mean, they don't blow up.
Horses don't blow up; they just evaporate once you shoot them with a laser gun.
Yeah, so you still got a chance.
You have to remember, the thing in this galaxy is everything, especially like weaponry and defensive capabilities, is based on technology. For them to use, like a living like horse, there's no real defense for that. Like while they're literally riding on the ship.
Yeah.
For horse terrified of what's mine, like I was just eating grass a minute ago.
Those horses on that ship were the last of its kind because the planet that they were on got blown up.
No.
So they were already an endangered species.
Was it?
Yeah, remember like where the Death Star crashed? They blew that thing up.
Well.
Yeah. So
YOLO
those were
then.
the last horses.
YOLO then. But yeah, when Kylo and Rey unite, but like the Emperor's like, oh, your life force, it re-energizes me, and you see like the Emperor getting more powerful at the same time. Poe's like, we can't defeat them, there's too many of them, and Lando goes, on your left, Cap. I'm kidding, no. He's like, no, there are more of us.
Yeah. Well, I do love that scene though, where Poe's friends were just dying left and right, and Mando's losing all hope.
Yeah.
And he's just apologizing to his troops, like, I thought they would come. And then they do. A little too late, but they do.
I could have been the only one. Go ahead.
No, I love how General Pride is like, well, where did this all come from? The Resistance has no fleet, and the other dude is just like, it's not a military, sir. They're just people.
Like I can.
So you hear that? We can rebel. All of us. They're just.
Also, right, the scene when like the Millennium Falcon flies into view for the first time, and there's all those ships behind him. You can see Ghost from Rebels.
Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like. I haven't seen Rebels.
Yeah, he's purely Clone Wars, but he should try Rebels sometime. It's pretty good.
I keep hearing people say that it's actually good. So I was like, okay.
Yeah. But like, I couldn't have been the only one who thought of like, That is straight up Falcon telling Cap like on your left. But yeah, you
A
see.
year later.
You also see Wedge and Tilly. She's like, I thought Dennis Lawson wanted never to be in a Star Wars movie, but I'm glad he's in this one for a bit.
For 2 seconds.
Yeah, that was really good to see Wedge again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But as the Emperor is taking the life juice out of Kylo and Rey, he's again back to form. We're like, oh shit, Ian McDermott. Like we always remembered him from 2005, and he's like, do not mind that people attack my friends, and he shoots lightning from his hands. I'm like, holy shit, that's amazing.
So, yeah.
It's amazing until you think about it, because you're like, how long are the ships falling?
Right. So like, yes, it was just an EMP blast, while Ray blows everything up. So that's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Like that was his last hurrah, that he would actually blow up his own ships as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, oh, they're more
It's
like
an
falling
EMP
instead of
blast that
exploding.
only affects the rebels. How does that make sense?
Unlimited power, man.
It is just cool seeing the effects and the sound of just like, whoom, like, oh fuck. I did time it like for 3 minutes at least. The ships are falling. You're like, that's strange. Nothing hits the ground. Where's the stakes?
I don't know. I think some hit.
That we don't see. Like,
Yeah.
cannon fodder.
Yeah. You just see a little blip.
I feel bad for
But-
Ben because like the Emperor just tosses him like he's nothing before the lightning scene. You're like, I guess it's the end. Oh fuck.
Yeah, and like Ray finally gets in tune with all of the Jedi's before her, and you do hear some recognizable voices.
Yeah.
Except for Plo Koon,
Yeah.
which was like, what the hell? Where's my boy?
Yeah, because you hear Ashley Eckstein
Mhm.
and
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
yeah, you hear
Qui-Gon.
Anakin, Yoda, Luke, Obi-Wan. It's I love it.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
I jumped out of my seat when I heard Kane. I'm like, all right, rebels represent. Yay.
Yeah, Kane and Jarrus.
Yeah.
fine, but he ain't no Plo Koon. though.
Sure. The last one is Luke, and then she gets up and she does.
I'm just imagining like Ray just going, "Be with me," and then just Plo Koon going, "Not to me."
But yeah, she does the thing where you reflect, push back the lightning with the lightsaber, deflect.
Yeah.
And he's like, I am all the Sith. And then she gets the other lightsaber. And she's like, I am Iron Jedi. I mean, I am all the Jedi.
Mm-hmm. And I say this is a cool way for Ian McDermott to die.
Sure.
I kind of wish she just went all Anakin Skywalker to Count Dooku style, since she had dual lightsabers.
I just feel like they're like, huh, Endgame did this. So watch us do it too. We're like, oh, sure. You do you.
Yeah.
Buddy.
I mean, you also think that, like, you know, old Palpy would have learned, you know, from his encounter with Mace Windu.
He just calls out to Anakin again, like, help me. Oh, fuck, he's not here.
Oh shit, she's blocking it! Why does this look so familiar?
It's like, even in episode 3, it's like, bro, why don't you just stop throwing the fucking lightning?
Right?
Right? Just stop it for a bit, and then once you see your opportunity, fly around like a ghost again and just hit her.
Right?
No.
Like, also, it's funny to see, like, the ghost Sith panic from the falling beams. Like, wait, we're dead. Why are we panicking?
Yeah.
You see a crowd just get immediately squished by a statue.
Palpatine also could have done his, you know, his in the air spinning thing. You know, it's always a good trick.
Yeah, I mean, it killed 3 Jedis.
Well, there's more to why he immediately killed the 3 Jedi so easily. But yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, she defeats Palpatine and she's out of life juice, but Kylo brings her back to life and they kiss. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they finally did it. But he dies.
Yeah, that's just odd to me. You're like, huh? Why?
Yeah. So I was like,
Well, it's because she was dead, right? And so, in order to bring her back to life, he had to give her his life force, right? So she was dead. So to bring her back, he has to die. It makes sense.
Yeah, but
yeah.
why do they
But
kiss them?
but what? No, not that part. I get it.
No, it just seems like, oh, we need to please the internet people. We're like, oh, okay.
I guess, sure, it's uncalled for, but like, still, I don't mind
There's
it.
also like traumatic things that bring people together that, you know, they kiss. It doesn't have to be romantic.
Yeah, I guess.
You were saying, Joe?
But it's just that, like, why didn't she turn into like clothing? Just clothing. Like when Kylo died, he immediately went ghost, and then when Rey died, she was still kind of solid.
She was 1% still. I don't know.
Me being like this is 1% alive.
Well, you figure, right? Like if the Force is the Jedi's version of God, basically, right? Then you have to assume that the Force knew the plan the whole time.
Yeah, like, oh, we kind of have to keep him alive, or keep her alive, while Kylo's time is done.
Alright, but yeah, they all celebrate in the Jungle Planet Kashyyyk #2. And they're like, alright. And even the Ewoks are like, I can't fucking believe this happened all over again.
And then you see, like, they finally give Chewie the medal, like, after God knows how long.
Huh.
This man's been fighting in a war,
Right?
and Galaxy's racist.
I would have laughed if it was just some like a rusty old
Everyone,
metal.
everyone had to die in order for Chewie to get a medal.
Right? I say that's unfair.
Right? Rey goes back to the original Tatooine, where she bears the lightsabers, and lo and behold, she has a yellow lightsaber. You're like,
Look, man, it doesn't
okay.
bother me anymore because people say that it's not canon, so what the fuck's... Yes, I'm pissed off.
it is a pretty lightsaber though. You're like, oh, I like this color.
Yeah. No, yellow is my favorite, like, lightsaber color.
Hmm.
Like, if I were to get one, like, if I were to get, like, a replica, it would be yellow. And so I was like, ah, that's a sick design too.
I know that like it might not be like too relevant in the time period that this takes place, but lightsaber colors have always meant something. Like they were specific to a Jedi's role, and yellow was always Jedi Guardians' lightsaber color, the ones that guarded the Jedi Temple.
Yep.
Hmm.
And they were like more of like Jedi for the people instead of Jedi for the Order. So I was like, I kind of like that. They were like more of vigilante, not really vigilantes, but like he kind of policed around, like looking for smaller crime within like the cities near the temple. So I was like, that's cool.
Yeah. And then the old lady asked Rey, "Who are you?" "I'm Rey Skywalker." Like, that's a stretch, but sure.
Again, it's just.
You
I guess
choose
she's
who you
married. She's married now to Kylo, so she got the name.
And it ends the way this whole saga begins with the two sons. Like, ah, yeah, okay, it's an ending, yay. So yeah, needless to say, I don't think this is a bad ending. I don't think this is a great ending. I just think it's an ending.
It's an ending.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with her, you know, naming herself Skywalker. I really don't. It's, I mean, it's clearly an adopted name, and Luke was, you know, like a really big father figure to her, even if she didn't know him very long, you know, a couple years, whatever, even as like a Force ghost, whatever you want to say. But I don't know. I didn't have a problem with it. You know, I shed a tear when I heard her, you know, take the name Skywalker. I'm a sucker for Star Wars. What can I say?
Good one, but like I kind of would prefer she took Palpatine because it'd been like a more powerful message of like, yeah, my name's Palpatine, but I'm not like the others. I am going to be better than the other Palpatines that came before me, like my mom and dad, and not my grandfather.
Yeah, I would have preferred that ending, but hey, they went with this one. Some people liked it, some people didn't, and that's just Star Wars in general. It just divided a lot of fans.
Yeah, this whole trilogy unfortunately was pretty
Yeah.
divisive. But like,
Mhm.
no, at the end of 2019, I was like, thank God, season 1 of
This
Mando
was
still on.
actually this one, The Rise of Skywalker, is actually the only sequel that I saw in theaters.
Really? What?
This is the only one I kind of like passed on in theaters.
Well, I saw it in theaters.
You saw all three?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was right before the pandemic because I saw it in or not June, Jesus Christ, January of 2020, because it came out in like a month prior, and so I saw it in January of 2020 prior to the pandemic. But it was still weird because like at least the theater that I went to, there really weren't too many people watching this movie. There was like maybe 3 people in the theater, including me.
They were all busy watching Cats. I'm kidding, I don't know.
Oh god.
Or Jojo
You guys
Rabbit.
wanna- Yeah, probably. But yeah, anyway,
Yeah.
take us away.
With that being said, I do have some big questions after our ratings. But
Okay.
that being said, what would you rate The Rise of Skywalker?
Look, it's not bad, not great. All I knew is that there were just conflicting ideas between J.J. Abrams and the other guy who did the last movie,
Ryan Johnson?
Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson, and they were kind of like shitting on each other with how they were taking the plot, so it was pretty messy. Some things they chose to stick with in the story was a bit jarring, kind of for me, the Palpatine plot, but everything else was kind of a fun journey. Like if you just turned off your brain and just enjoyed the pew-pews and the stormtroopers dying and that one stormtrooper who just got obliterated after his jetpack got like malfunctioned. It's a fun time. Choreography's great. The acting was look, I don't like it when they get like, you came. Shut the fuck up, folks.
That sounds like a watered down version of the end of a porno.
Yeah, I was about to say, someone please clip that and take it out of context.
You came. Yeah. Like, I wasn't a fan of those lines. Ending is eh. I love this movie's eh. Action was great. Choreography's great, as I said before. But yeah, all in all, I would say this is a 6 out of 10
Okay.
for me. Yeah. How about you, Hazel?
Just as a movie, like any other movie, I would say this is probably like an 8 or an 8.5. As a Star Wars movie, I'll give it a 7.
Okay. Okay. Seems fair. Seems fair.
Okay. Like, I don't hate this movie. I obviously don't love this movie. Like, some of the action is pretty good. The story, it goes places where I'm like, wow, you really are playing it safe. This feels like, I'm sorry for the Last Jedi. Here's some corrections. Like, oh, okay, you don't have to do that, but sure. I like how Kylo's story concluded. Rey's story, I hope we can build on after this. Like, if there's another trilogy, maybe we can help.
They're talking about another trilogy that includes characters from the sequel trilogy, like Rey and Finn. I'm not sure about Poe.
Oh, but yeah, I would like to see the character get built up, especially Finn, because I feel like he got was did dirty in this one, and the last one too. Palpatine was cool, even though he didn't make all the sense in the world, and just how the whole story came to a close. We're like, would I call it satisfactory? I would say less than, so I'll give this a 5.
Okay. Wow, again, you're surprising me that you're going lower than me.
Sorry, like it's just how I feel. Again, like we've said before, if you like this entire trilogy, like Hazel, like more power to you. I am jealous because I'm like I wish I could like this trilogy too. I want to, but it's just a difference in opinion, and movies are always going to be subjective anyway. So there are a few questions. One being, why do you think Star Wars is still relevant even after all this time? Even after what happened with the sequel trilogy?
I think the sequel trilogy would have been better as a whole if J.J. Abrams did all of them.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Like if they just made J.J. Abrams just that on the helm of it,
Yeah.
it would have been.
Yeah. Like, who was the? I forgot who the first choice was for the last one. It was supposed to be Colin Trevorrow. So, like seeing the outcomes of this trilogy, you're like, yeah, I prefer One Vision.
Well, I mean, they literally made the story up as they go. Like, they didn't start the sequels with a full-fledged story already thought out and planned. They literally went as it goes. So when Rian Johnson did The Last Jedi and the story that was presented in that, and then J.J. Abrams came back, they had to fit what happened in the previous movie into the last movie. And if J.J. Abrams had directed the second one, it would have went into a different direction entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wait, what was the question again, Enzo?
Why do we keep coming back to Star Wars? Why is it still relevant after all this time?
Look, okay, say what you will, but there's a lot of stories to tell in Star Wars. Like as they
There
did
really
with Mandalorian. Yeah, with the Mandalorian. Like, who are these cool guys that you want to see? Oh, now I'm willing to see what Poe used to do when he used to be a spice trader. Like, I would like to see little short stories of that. Just give us short stories of this universe and how it went and how it ran. For me, I am getting tired of the main storyline with the whole Skywalker thing, but I am on board for what we had with Clone Wars, with Mandalorian, Boba Fett, a little bit of Boba Fett. Right now with Cassian Andor. And yeah, so like seeing itty bitty bits of stories from this universe does feel like a nice anthology. Like we're getting an X-Wing show or movie that has, I'm pretty sure, has nothing to do with the main storyline. So that'll be really cool to see.
It's called Rogue Squadron or
Rogue
something.
Yeah, Rogue Squadron. I'm happy. I'm ready to watch that. I'm excited for it.
All right. How about you, Hazel?
Because it's very huge in pop culture, and it even though like there's a lot of that you could say that there's a lot of similar things in sci-fi. Obviously, Star Trek could be the biggest that you could think of. But it's its own thing, like it tells its own story, and the stories are so interesting, and the universe of Star Wars is so large that you can practically tell the story of anything. You can make a Gonk Droid movie and people will go and see it because it's Star Wars. I know I would, anyways. It's just,
I just want to see how they do it.
It's just classic, we want more of this world. The people who are fans of Star Wars just want more, more. We just want to get all that we can.
me and Hazel just try to pull a Kylo Ren. More.
All right.
But you'll be happy to know that they have said that the Rise of Skywalker is the end of the Skywalker saga. So even if we get more sequel movies moving on, it won't revolve around Skywalker.
Okay. That's good to know. Like, just be done with it.
Yeah. Well, I think Star Wars is still relevant, and why people keep coming back to is that they keep hitting themes that are so personal to people, like with Luke and Vader, the father-son dynamic, where it has impacted a lot of people who have watched it. And you've seen like articles written on the internet of how the relationships between fathers and sons have changed because of that. It's incredible. And like with Andor and the Clone Wars, especially with Andor, like the fight for good governance and the fight against corruption is something we can all relate to. And like Star Wars is just very personal. Like you mentioned Star Trek, and Star Trek is always about the future and what we should rise to be as a species later on. But Star Wars is about us. It's the story of us just in a galaxy far, far away a long time ago. But yeah, those themes, whether it be again for good governance or a theme of spirituality, still resonate with people up to this day, and that's why people keep coming back to it, because there's always something for everyone in Star Wars. And again, Star Wars is about us ultimately.
Yeah, and we as humans, we inherently know that we could be taught different at a later point, but we inherently know the difference between right and wrong, good and bad. And in our real world, Nazis and World War II and the Holocaust and all of that really happened, and that is a very, very big theme and similarity in the Star Wars universe. The Empire or the First Order, whatever, they're all space Nazis, and so it is very relatable, at least to our own human history.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've already had questions, but yeah, I think this is a good note to end on anyway. Yeah. That's been our video on the Rise of Skywalker. This has been our Christmas lineup, so hope you guys enjoy these videos for the holiday season as we celebrate Christmas. And I can't believe it's Christmas time in 2022, because this year seems to have gone by like that. You're like, oh fuck. I know we keep saying this, but like, especially now with everything that's been happening in 2022, you're like, I can't believe this year's ending. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope you guys have a good Christmas season with your friends and loved ones, and hope we all enter the new year and we enter a better year in 2023. Hopefully things turn out way better than they did in this year. But yeah, if you want to see more of us in this space, at least please like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We also have a Facebook, Spotify, and TikTok under the same name, Geeks and Degenerates. Facebook to see us react to trailers, stream video games, and about our lives from time to time. TikTok to see our greatest and best moments, and Spotify to hear us on the go. Individually, you can find me at Kendolphus1995 on IG and Twitter. How about you guys?
Now you can find me at JohnGeom_ on Instagram. It is my art account. How about you, Hazel?
You can find me at Sapphire Hazel 7, the number 7, for IG and Twitter, and then just Sapphire Hazel for YouTube and Twitch. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this great Star Wars journey. Whether you love or hate what we've said, we were here for you to listen. We appreciate everyone. Like, subscribe, do all the things, share to your friends, and thanks for joining us on the channel. It's we like to have strokes here.
Thanks.
You know what? You ain't wrong, because we all three have had strokes while making these contents, and to more not real strokes in the future.
Oh God.
Ciao, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.